Hello my friends, and welcome to a very impromptu video on the Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales channel. I am in my car, as you can see. Basically, my wife Michaela, she does piano lessons, and she has currently just gone into a piano lesson, so I thought it would be cool to do a quick video just talking about the upcoming Warhammer things that I have planned going forward. So to begin with, let's talk about the square-based tournament. So I have miraculously entered the square-based tournament in Nottingham. So square-based is a podcast run by Rob and Val. They are two very experienced Warhammer players, and they are tournament organisers. Rob used to work for Games Workshop years and years ago. I think he was part of their content creation team. He did a lot of stuff with their streaming things and stuff, and he's become a very successful content creator in his own right, and he runs a tournament called Square Based, which he runs at the TSN Arena in Nottingham. Val is an American guy who runs events in Vancouver and in Canada and in America sometimes and things like that, so he sort of goes all over doing that sort of stateside. So every month Square Based run a tournament. Me, my friend Paul, and Paul's friend Cameron have entered the Square-based tournament for me. So we're going to go up on the train. It's like a 4.5 hour train ride. We're then going to go and check into the hotel. We're probably going to make a stop to Warhammer World. I've never been. Both of them have been, but I've never actually been there. So I get to experience Warhammer World for the first time. Then on the Saturday, I think you got to be there for 9 o'clock, I think, or 9:30, something like that, to register. They do the draw. You have your first game around about 10 o'clock, and then you basically play like 10 till 1. Then it's like a quick break, 1:30 till like 4:30, and then you play like 5 until like 7. It's something like that. You play 3 games on the Saturday, then you go out and have a meal and stuff afterwards. Then on the Sunday, same sort of thing. You play 2 matches on the Sunday, so overall you play 5 matches. A lot of the people that I'll be playing against in this tournament, or the majority of people I'll be playing against in this tournament, have done this many times, and they are very, very experienced, competitive Warhammer players. I will be very much outside of my comfort zone. I will be going there for vibes. Going there for vibes mainly. I want to sort of treasure this experience. I want to learn from it. I want to work out, where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong, what things can I do with my list that can improve it. And I want to just, most importantly, have fun, enjoy myself, and hopefully make a few friends. I know a few of the people that are going to the tournament have YouTube channels in their own right. Somebody that will likely be there is Derby After Dark, a guy called Richie Amphlett, who's like one of the top Warhammer players in the UK, and he's like one of the main dwarf players. There's another guy called Ed Fawcett who runs the Close Order YouTube channel. He will likely be there. And there's a few others as well. There's a guy called Andy who does the, I think it's like D6 Wounds or something his channel's called. And there's a lot of YouTubers in the space that I might end up meeting. So that's quite cool. I'm a little bit nervous. And what I've been doing these past few weeks is trying to get my list in order. So as some of you will know from previous battle reports, I have 4 armies in total. I have my Empire army, which I have yet to play with. I have not built a lot of those troops, and I have not painted I haven't painted any of them. So that is like a side project, a bit of fun, something that I'll do over the next few months into the summer. I have a dwarf army, which I have had 1 battle with so far. I lost that battle, mainly because I didn't know how to use dwarves. But my army is painted up and they're ready to go and play with in the future. I have an Orcs and Goblins army, which I have used a few times. They're very fun to play with, and I'm probably going to use them in another tournament that I have entered, which I will talk about in a second. And finally, we have the Bone Boys, my boys, the Tomb Kings. So Tomb Kings, the first army that I played with in Warhammer The Old World. My good friend Paul, aka Lord Rexasaur, he very kindly sort of got me into Warhammer and helped me get the Tomb King box and stuff. And I've had a lot of fun playing as the Tomb Kings. I have a very strong Tomb King roster. I have two Necrolith Bone Dragons now. One with the Lich Priest or High Priest, and one with the Tomb King himself. I also have a Cetra model. I have a Screaming Skull Catapult. I have the Casket of Souls. I have 7 Ushabti in total, 3 of them with the bow variant and 4 with the Ritual Blade variant. I have an insane amount of skeleton archers and skeleton warriors. I have about 25 Tomb Guard. I have 2 Tomb Scorpions. I have a Kemrian War Sphinx, which was one of the newest additions to my army. And I also have a Necrosphinx. I have 6 Skeleton Chariots. I also have 1 unit of the Necroserpents, the Necropolis Knights. I think... Is that everything? I think that's the majority of the... Oh, I got Prince of Poppus. I got Prince of Poppus, although I'm not taking him to the tournament. The point I'm making is that I have a lot of strong units and a lot of units that I have experience using and I'm quite comfortable with. So what we've been doing over the past few weeks is working on some lists and having some battles. On the channel, you'll see that I had a battle report, Tomb Kings versus Warriors of Chaos. It's the most recent battle report on the channel. If you haven't watched it, I strongly advise you to go and watch it. It's the first time I did it with like a live action type of thing, although we sort of did it after every turn just because it was easy to recap. This weekend just gone, I played Cameron, who, as I mentioned earlier, is coming to the tournament with us. He used his Bretonnian army, and I used my Tomb King army. And Paul, very kindly, was like TO. He sort of watched the battle unfold, and he had the rule book ready to check any queries and stuff, because there were some things that happened where it's like, is that allowed? Is that true? Can we do this? You know, that kind of stuff. So he did a very good job at doing that for us. I didn't record this battle because the battle was more about just getting the experience, getting the battle under my belt. And we played Breakpoint, which is the one where you add up the tally of points per unit. So if you've got a unit of 20 Tomb Guards, they're all like 1 wound models, so it's like 20 points. A 6 wound model, such as the Necrosphinx, will be worth 6 points, and you add up your points value, and then basically, I think I was on like 80, 84, 85, something like that, whatever it was, and you've got to get your opponent's army down to 25%, which in my case was 21 points. So once I'm 21 points or lower, I lose, basically. And that's what happened. I lost. It was a very fun battle. Positionally wise, I started off quite strong. I thought I got a good chance here, and then I had a situation where I had to move my mortuary priest, because I remember 2 mortuary priests for this list, and my mortuary priest was my Hierophant, and I could either risk having him where he was on the assumption that he was going to get mowed down by Pegasus Knights, which obviously is bad for me, or I could move him behind my Ushabti away, which is what I did. Problem was, in Cameron's second turn, he had line of sight with his artillery on my mortuary priest. He wounded my mortuary priest, and he did 2 wounds exactly. And I was thinking in my head, oh, well, I've got 1 wound remaining. Nope. High priest has 3 wounds. Mortuary priest has 2. So mortuary priest crumbles. And for the rest of the game, I'm crumbling. Although, to be fair, I didn't crumble that much. I was able to sort of stave off, pass leadership tests and stave off crumbling. But I was a bit gutted by that. But I recovered quite well. I sort of got myself together. I was able to take out his Duke. I was able to take out his Damsel. I took out his Knights. I took out the majority of his Pegasus Knights. He had a unit of 6, and I got them down to 2 remaining, and one of them was on like 1 wound left. So I did a very good job of taking a lot of stuff with me. And what I was relying on my Arise ability to keep bringing the Tomb Guard back, because every time I raised the dead and I was bringing 4 or 5 Tomb Guard back, I was basically bringing my points back up for breakpoint. It's like, okay, you're on like 25 points, you just brought 5 of them back, you're back up to 30 points. You know, it was that kind of thing. And I had my Necrosphinx and my Bone Dragon close with each other, so they could go into combat at the same time, give me a better chance of not losing either of them, and obviously winning combat, which is what they did against the Duke and the Knights and the Damsel. But unfortunately, on right at the end of the game, basically, where it got Cameron down to quite low himself, although he still had more points on the board than me, my Necrosphinx had 1 wound remaining, and my Necrosphinx decided that this would be a perfect opportunity to fail its leadership check and lose its last wound. Necrosphinx was gone, and then we tied up the points there and then, and unfortunately, I was under the 21. I think I was on. I can't remember what I was on, but I just got under 21. So because of that, the game was over. But I was pleased with the. I was pleased with how we did. It was the Bretonnian Exiles list we were against, which I hadn't played against before, so that was a brand new experience for me. And I think I learned a lot from playing and from that experience. I do apologise if you can hear cars going back and forth. You'll probably see on the camera there's things going back and forth at the moment, but we'll just roll with it. I got the microphone set up on my seat belts by here, so hopefully the audio quality is pretty good, because this microphone does tend to be quite handy. So that was the battle. That was how things went with Cameron. I'm looking forward to having more battles with Cameron in the future. I messaged him on Facebook afterwards and I thanked him for the game. I said, really enjoyed it. Hopefully we can get some more, and I'm looking forward to going to Nottingham with him and Paul. Speaking of Paul, I have a battle arranged now for the 22nd of April. This is in Merthyr Firestorm, which is my nearest Firestorm, which is a local gaming store, in case you're wondering. I'm not sure if we'll do a battle report. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm not really 100% at the moment, but we'll see what the vibe's like on the day, and maybe we will. Then the 23rd, the day after, I'm playing against Matthew, who I've done battle reports with on this channel before. I'm going to be playing against his Bretonnian list. He says he's got a very strong Bretonnian list he's going to bring against me, and of course I'm bringing Tomb Kings. My list with Tomb Kings, I have tweaked it slightly, so I'm not going to go with the Mortuary Priests, because I don't like the whole 2 wounds thing and having less spells. It really nullifies a lot of what I'm doing. Instead, I'm going to go with a High Priest, because he has more wounds. I can get more spells, and I can also give him a Lore Familiar, which means that I can just pick the spells I want as well, which I like using Elementalism. Elementalism, ever since I started using it, I find it hard not to take it anymore. I'll use Elementalism with Orcs and Goblins as well, because the spells are really good. I'd say you've probably got 4, maybe even 5 very strong spells. You've got the template, the one that whirls around, and it moves randomly and it does damage to the enemy, but it doesn't do damage to you, which is fantastic. If you can get it off. You've got the there's one for a flaming sword, which is very handy, especially if you've got a spellcaster that's in combat. It's an assailment spell, so you can just bring it in and use it, in combat, which is great. You've got, I'm trying to think these off the top of my head, and my mind's starting to go blank. It's probably because I've been in work all day and I'm tired. You've got Plague of Rest, which is one of the best spells in the game. So having that spell is just like an essential. My favourite spell is probably Magical Mythical Pathways. It literally won me the game against Paul when he had a very strong Warriors of Chaos army. Not his strongest Warriors of Chaos army, but a very strong, formidable Warriors of Chaos army. I had my Orcs and Goblins, and I literally I transported my big block of poisonous goblin archers to the other side of the battlefield. It's like, go up here instead. Oh, you're in range now of his general. Shoot your bows. And I had like 10 wounds on him or something ridiculous, and they all went through and he didn't make his saves. And he just died in like one turn. It's like, oh, this is what Warhammer's about. Just funny stuff that happens like that. Little goblins took out this massive Chaos Lord on a Manticore. It was the thing to behold, you know. So that spell is really good for stuff like that. It's been useful for Tomb Kings because we can't march. You just amble up to the opposition all the time. So on like a Tomb Guard unit, you can just yeet them up the board, which is what I like doing. And I give them a Banner of Desert Winds, so they get the reserve move and Vanguard. So they get a little bit of extra movement, and then I can just yeet them up the board, which is so fun. So that spell is good. That spell is very good. So yeah, Elementalism, definitely the way to go. Went on a bit of a random kind of talk of spells and stuff then, but I just wanted to mention it. The important thing is I got these battles for next week now. I would like to get probably another one just to be safe. I'm going to see how this list goes. So like I said, I'm going to go for the High Priest, going to drop the 2 Mortuary Priests, and I'm just going to sort of go from there. I'm going to take a Necrotect. So I've been working on a little model. I wish I'd brought it with me in the car. I could have like brought it on camera and shown you. I got a Necrotect that I'm going to put in with my Tomb Guard. It's Paul's suggestion. I think it's a very good, solid suggestion. Going to see how that goes in these 2 battles. If I'm happy with this list, this will be the list I'll go with. Which I'll do a video going over the entire list and the tournament and stuff nearer the time anyway. But the Necrotech has a spell. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But you do like a leadership test in your command subphase. And as long as he passes it, which I think is like leadership 7 or 8, as long as he can pass that leadership test, everything sort of gets increased. You get extra attacks for all of your units that he's in that unit. So if you've got a Tomb Guard, and say you've got 6 of them in the front rank, they all got 1 attack each. Well, they've all got 2 attacks now. So you're not doing 6 attacks, you're doing 12 attacks. It means that in combat you've got a better chance of doing wounds, as long as, you know, more dice rolls is always a good thing. So yeah, very, very, very good spell, very good character to have, as long as he passes the leadership test. And I think some of his stat line isn't too bad either. Certainly better than Prince of Paupus. Like a Necrotech costs like 55 points or 60 points, something like that. Prince of Paupus costs like 130, and he literally has a very questionable kind of stat line. Yeah, I just could not find a place for Prince of Paupus. I will definitely use Prince of Paupus again in fun battles with my friends and stuff. I just don't see him being used in a competitive environment at all. He's got like terror and he can fly, and he got ambush. He comes on later on in the game, but then yeah, stat line, 1 or 2 things could be tweaked. It'd be worth 130 points, but it's certainly not from what I can see. So I'm going to end the video here. It's been a rather random ramble in the car while I wait for Michaela. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on where things are going with Warhammer at the moment. There will be more videos. I will show the Necrotect. I will do a video on the Necrotect because I've done a bit of kit bashing with him. I'm quite proud of him. I got a few more things I got to tweak with him before I get him on the table. I'm going to do some videos. I might do some videos in Nottingham. I might do like a travel on the way up kind of vlog sort of thing, a vlog in the hotel talking about like, you know, how the tournament's gone day 1, day 2, like an overall kind of thing of what the thing was like. And I'll try and take some photos of like the tables and stuff while I'm there as well, and that kind of thing. Anyway, guys, I've been Dragonheart the Prince of Wales. Until next time, goodbye.